So, Madhavi, how do you become a guru? That's a very loaded question.
I was trying to think about that answer
Yeah.
for a long time actually, and it's a very complicated question.
Yeah.
An answer is not very simple for that because from the time Bharatanatyam started to today's time, so many things have changed. Okay, and it's losing some of its authenticity, which is not a good thing, but it always happens with anything. So initially, traditionally, it used to be a Natvanar. Natvanar supposed to be a male, um, you know, male Natvanar who was expert not only in dance but in music and rhythm as well. Okay, and he was the one who would teach the student. Now, also interestingly, he would never get up and dance and show. He would always be sitting on the floor with the rhythmic instrument that he would have, a wooden box and a stick, and he would sit cross-legged and just instruct the dancer to do certain things and that's how they would learn. Very rarely he would actually get up, dance and show or demonstrate. That's how the teacher was. Usually always a male teacher.
Okay.
Then later on what happened was, they would have their senior students who would help the other junior students and show how to do it. Natvanar concept was really, really important because he was the main person. He would conduct the orchestra, he would teach, he would compose the music, he would compose the complicated rhythmic patterns called jatis, and senior students would keep learning. They would not think about becoming teachers, they would just keep learning. And slowly, it was such an organic transition, right? Where one wouldn't even realize that she's already teaching now. And then later on, there are so many dancers, right? So they would start teaching, because they have years of experience assisting the teacher, learning from the teacher, so they would become. But important thing is to be a good teacher, all around teacher. You have to know the music, you have to know the rhythm, and you have to know the dance. These are very, very important aspects. Now, today there are teachers who have very little knowledge in music and they are still doing it. I would say that always stay close to your guru. Okay, you can never be too old to have a teacher. So always stay in touch with your guru. Always keep learning. And if you have a chance, learn the music, learn the rhythm, because in Carnatic music in India we have two different types of. There are multiple, but two main. One is Hindustani, one is Carnatic. Carnatic music, the rhythm system is really, really complicated. It takes years to master. So one needs to know, because when you are choreographing and constructing a step or the pattern of steps, you really need to know the breakdown of the number of beats which go into that. So to become a good teacher, I would say that you need to know your music, you need to know your rhythm, of course you need to know your dance. I don't know any institute here, but definitely in India, one of the most reputed, very well regarded, prestigious places, Kalakshetra, where they do train. I don't know how long the course is to begin. Of course, you have to be a very accomplished dancer to even enroll into that program. And then, but it always, you can get the certification done. Rukmani Devi, that I was telling you about, once said that the difference between technical expert and genuine dancer is when the dancer learns the technical aspects and forgets about it. You have to dance with your soul, you have to dance with your heart, you have to dance with your eyes, you have to dance with your face, right? So always stay in touch with your guru. Whether you do the curriculum, you can get the certification done, but for you to become a better teacher, you always need a teacher who is watching your back.
Right. Wonderful. So you're going to India to get your certification.
It's been on my mind.
Right.
The course is 4 years. I know because I looked into it. I'm still deciding between whether I want to do like the full 4-year course or just do 1 year. I've already started my Carnatic singing classes, so I'm on that path to understanding
That's awesome.
the music, which is very exciting. But I think as much, like, I really would love to do the 4 years, but there's a lot for me to think about because it's 4 years.
Right.
And I have a whole life here,
Right.
and I can't stay away from Auntie for 4 years. But I'm still contemplating it. But hearing her talk about it makes me want to do it.
Right.
Again.
There's
I'm
a
like,
lot of theory behind Bharatanatyam also. It's not just I don't know how it is in ballet, but Bharatanatyam definitely has tons of literature that's behind, and you have to know so many things about it. Also, there's another aspect where all the pieces are not every teacher can understand every piece because it's in a different language. And the language itself, even person who speaks that language sometimes has hard time understanding because it's written in a very old fashioned language. Like how Shakespeare, sometimes I read it, I have no idea what I'm reading, or I'm hard time understanding. It's English, but I don't understand. Similarly, so you have to have somebody who is there to explain you all the meanings and story.
Right. So really quickly, we talked about how the Arangetram is the beginning, really, is what it's supposed to be, instead of just the graduation, like I had said before. It doesn't mean afterwards is you're done. It actually means that's the beginning. So we talked about this a little bit, where you both are teachers, and I know, Geatali, you perform, and I wanted to talk about you a little bit. Where are you going to take this? Are you going to take this somewhere more further in the dance world, or is it more of a life empowerment type of thing? I don't know.
So for me, I'm not trying to teach Bharatanatyam right now. I don't think I'm there. I want to keep dancing for sure, and I want to keep exploring as a dancer. But otherwise, I think it was a really big step, like you said, like a life empowering thing. And I'm also really interested in yoga, and I'm going for my yoga teacher training. And I think there's actually a big connection between the two. I've seen a lot of Bharatanatyam dancers who do a lot of yoga training. Even a lot of these programs like Geatali's been looking into, they have a yoga aspect because they're very compatible.
Right.
So for me, it's kind of, this is something else that I'm really interested in, that I think they go together really well.
Yeah.
And yoga's been something that I've been doing for a really long time that I'm also really interested in, and I am looking to teach yoga. So I think for me, I am more comfortable as a dancer when it comes to this, and I definitely want to keep doing that, but it's also kind of a nice way to meld different aspects of
Yeah, that's
together.
awesome. Good. I'm glad I asked that, because I know Geatali really. I know you both really well, but I also know that she is like really into the teaching and like the exploring this specific thing and just delving in. Whereas I know that you're an artist in so many facets of life. And I was wondering, if you were gonna do something like your sister or something like this, and that's beautiful. I love that. Oh my gosh, you're gonna teach me yoga. Okay, great. I'm so excited for that.
I do need to do practice classes, so you can be one of my
oh my gosh, perfect. Oh, we'll do this. Excellent. I think that concludes everything. I feel so enlightened right now, and I'm just so glad this happened. Thank you so much to the three of you.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It was all really a pleasure.
I really
to sit with somebody who shares the same interest and passion is always a pleasure.
Absolutely, and all four of us have that in common for sure. So thank you so much to the
You're
three of you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this interview. We really went in depth with a lot of things about Bharatanatyam, and I hope you are feeling the same amount of passion and love for dance. And I hope you also learned a lot about a new art form that you may never have heard of or may never have, delved in this deeply into. Make sure you leave your comments, like my channel, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye, dancers.